On Larry King Now from London, the irrepressible Russell Brand.
When I saw my daughter for the first time, I understood purpose.
And dependence. She needed you.
She really does. And let me tell you, Larry, this child's a vicious little thing. Even today, alone, she's headbutted her mother. I mean, this kind of behaviour from an adult, I would say, would be a short prison sentence. People are sensing that that the political figures are not real, a lack of integrity, what Orwell would call, double speak, language that is superficial. And Donald Trump may be many things, and he almost certainly is, but what he also is authentic. That drugs were destroying my life.
Do you remember why you started?
Pain. When I was a kid, I felt very bereft and like there was something else. This I feel still, Larry. There is some mystery that is very difficult for us to contact as long as we feel caged and grounded by materialism.
Plus, you don't want it to turn fascist, though.
Larry, I don't like fascism. Look at my hair. You can't have long-haired fascists. It's a rule.
You're almost Jesus-like.
Exactly.
All next on Larry King Now. Cheerio, and welcome to Larry King Now in London, where we welcome comedian, actor, radio host, activist, and best-selling author Russell Brand. He's amidst a stand-up tour of England and Ireland called Rebirth. He has a weekly news show on YouTube called Truths and has a new book due in September called 12. So good to have you back, Russell.
It's really lovely to be on any of your shows.
Any of them, so many.
Whatever format you want to talk to people
in. You can fit in.
Happily.
That's correct. What is 12 about?
12 is using the formula that I use to get clean from drugs and alcohol to change anything in your life that you want to change. When I stopped taking drugs, I'm in an abstinence-based recovery program. I found, do you know what, Larry? The minute I stopped taking drugs, I started having problems in other areas. My sexual appetites became, let's call them healthy, robust, greedy, and also in areas such as food or wanting other people's approval. I found that's interesting. Once I stopped taking drugs, all these other problems rose up. But the 12-step program worked in all these areas.
12 steps is AA.
That is the original format for 12 steps. Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, all of these various programs brilliantly deploy 12-step recovery. But what we've learned is that the 12-step program in my life and in the life of millions of other people can be worked across all sorts of addictive tendencies. And I think it's because it addresses that at the core of many of us, we have an emptiness, a deep spiritual yearning that people are trying to fulfill through sex or drugs or food.
But doesn't it depend on a belief in God?
It depends on a belief in a higher power. And in a way, Larry, God becomes a sort of peculiar semantic tool, doesn't God? I mean, I'm not a creationist or particularly Christian, or I've not surrendered to Islam, but I do believe in a powerful conscious force. I do believe that in consciousness there is a mystery that can't be resolved through materialism and mechanics.
When you say in the book, you said, this manual is for self-realization, comes not from a mountain, but from the mud. My qualification is not that I'm better than you, but that I am worse. What led you to it?
What led me to that book was the realization that there is a tendency in me that keeps manifesting itself and realizing itself, that there is a need and a hunger that doesn't seem to be able to be fulfilled without some kind of spiritual component. And spirituality, Larry, I spoke to that Yanis Varoufakis the other day, and he said to me, interestingly, does it really matter if the material world preceded spirit, or if spirit preceded the material world, whether or not a conscious being created the manifest world or not? The fact is, all of us feel the tendency towards kindness, compassion, and love, and when we live in alignment with these tendencies, we feel better. And C.S. Lewis wrote extensively about how we needed to be good, that somehow it's built in us, this tendency to be good.
What led you to get recovered?
That drugs were destroying my life. I could not stop taking drugs. It was getting worse.
How low did you get?
I was addicted to crack, and you're good at this, journalism. I think there's a future for you in this, because I've noticed you're able to follow the line. That's a very good skill. Pursue it.
Gotta listen, go with it, go with the flow.
It was crack and heroin, Larry. Like, I started to, with like sort of pretty ordinary recreational drugs that all seemed fun, and I'm sure are fun if you have that type of personality. But for me, in the end, I got into like taking crack and heroin because they're more effective, more powerful.
So you were doing that when I interviewed you the last time?
No, that was me trying my hardest to be polite. I've been like 15 years clean, Larry.
You came to my home.
Hold on a minute. I didn't come to your home on crack and heroin.
No?
I'd been clean about 10 years then, mate. I'm 15 years clean nearly. I wasn't in your house going through your wife's underwear drawer looking for crack and heroin.
Good.
Although what I found in there was perhaps worse. Some of the underwear is extremely morally dubious, and I would like to know what goes on in that marriage. No, you came to my home. I was clean then, Larry.
How low were you that you were able... What was the step you took? What was the first step of the... How did you manage to break it?
Through other people helping me. Like, what happened was it was getting worse because, like, crack and heroin, a lot of people that use that are street sleepers. A lot of people are homeless. So I was using with a lot of homeless people. I wasn't homeless myself. In fact, I was starting to do okay in media. But I was hanging out with a lot of homeless people, and on one occasion I went to sort of like what you'd call a low-level celebrity shindig. Like, not top celebrities. We're not talking Jack Nicholson here. No, I'm talking about sort of people that might crop up, like sort of orangey people with very white teeth that come on very early in the morning and act too jolly. That kind of level. I was with those guys and the homeless. Now, you could see why the homeless were so appealing if I was hanging out with them. Anyway, I went to a party with them. I was hanging out with homeless people, and people thought, well, this is an odd juxtaposition, these homeless people and low-level celebrities. What's going on in this guy's life? And the man that managed me at the time said, what type of drugs exactly are you taking? And I told him, and I was introduced to the first 12-step recovery person I ever met, a man with the sort of almost Dickensian name of Chip Summers, because it's a name that sounds quite jolly, but Chip Summers, in fact, was a armed robber and a heroin addict who at that time was 15, 16 years clean and ran a treatment centre that used the 12-step principles to get people clean.
Do you remember why you started?
Pain. When I was a kid, I felt very bereft and very alone and very lost, and like there was something else. This I feel still, Larry. There is something else. There is some mystery that is very difficult for us to contact as long as we feel caged and grounded by materialism. I accept that we live in this material world and we have to come to terms with it. I accept that I have a body that requires food and oxygen, but there is some other component that is extra material, perhaps supernatural as we understand natural. And it's very difficult for a person like me to live without some access to that.
Had you started to attain success while being an addict?
A little bit of success. But I think that addiction is wrongly diagnosed. I think addiction is the tendency, not the symptom. I think that before I started to take drugs, the way that I ate food, the way that I watched television, the way that I used pornography, all had the qualities of addiction present. I was eating too much chocolate. I was eating chocolate obsessively. When I found pornography, it was very furtive, obsessive and excited, not like a normal and jolly, upbeat relationship with pornography that can be found in a healthy home.
Did it make you happy?
Drugs or pornography? No, it's a distraction. It's an anesthetic. For me, happiness now is about connection and is about presence, moment to moment.
Our guest is the irrepressible Russell Brand. We'll talk fatherhood and a little politics after the breaks. Stay with us. We're back with Russell Brand. You became a father last year. Has parenthood changed you?
Yes. Yes, it has, Larry, because it's difficult to maintain my personal devotion to self-centeredness when so obviously I am not the nexus of the universe. That became clear when the baby was born. It's so extraordinary, both carnal, animal, and somehow divine. The roaring, the blood, the screaming, but the presence of something magical. It made me understand Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel in a different way, that it is consciousness that is gifted to us from the ethereal realm, not the material life. When I saw my daughter for the first time, I understood purpose. I understood meaning.
And dependence. She needed you.
She really does. And let me tell you, Larry, this child's a vicious little thing. Even today, alone, she's headbutted her mother. She's grabbed hold of, sort of my chest hair and pulled it. I mean, this kind of behaviour from an adult, I would say, would be a short prison sentence. 6 months, nothing too.
Has fatherhood changed your comedy?
Yeah, it has done. It has done, because it means it's changed absolutely everything about me, because now I am anchored. This is who I am now. Before, I sort of sometimes used to feel that I had a troubadour spirit, that I could walk out of my house and I might end up anywhere, that I could just meet someone on a street corner, like Pinocchio with that fox and that cat. He just wanders off with them, doesn't he? Well, now if I meet a fox and a cat, I'd have to go, well, listen, lads, I've got to come home. The baby's hungry. You know, so what it gives me is a sense of domesticity and the sense of connection. It's changed everything. Comedically, I think I can still be filthy and very, very rude, but now I know it comes from a kind of a crucible of connection.
What do you think of our president back across the pond?
I met him. I'm sure you've met him a number of times, have you? Do you know what I think is what is determining the numerous global political changes of our time is people have begun to despair of a lack of authenticity. People are sensing that the political figures are not real, a lack of integrity, what Orwell would call, double speak, language that is superficial. And Donald Trump may be many things, and he almost certainly is, but what he also is authentic. I think he really is.
But he's authentic, non-authentic. Because does he have a philosophy?
I don't think philosophy and authenticity necessarily correlate, Larry. I think that when Donald Trump is glib about race or glib about gender, even if you think, my God, I don't agree with what he's saying or agree with what he's doing, compared to other figures that occupy the political landscape, he has a kind of veracity. The only other figures that have it are, I think Jeremy Corbyn in this country is an authentic man, but I would agree that he's a principled and beautiful human being. Bernie Sanders in your country seemed like he had a kind of integrity, but was stifled and contained and marginalised by the sort of political process. And I think that authenticity, to use a ludicrous pun, trumped political alternatives that seemed more appealing to a liberal sensibility.
What is happening in the world? Are we going through some upheaval?
Yeah, I think so, don't you? I mean,
what is it, though?
Well, I think that it's the rejection of globalisation and a return to nationalism as a result of that.
But there's a danger in that.
Well, yeah, there is, of course, because of fascism for a kick-off. And also nationalism isn't going to work at this point. Nationalism's a bogus ideology.
Can't.
All of these ideas are in the service of political and financial elites. I think that we are at an important point, and the result of the last British election gives me some cause for optimism, because there was a return to socialist values. And socialism in the 1950s in your country was attacked so aggressively and so maligned that it's impossible for people to have a kind of an open view of it now as simply sharing.
Norway has that.
What do they have? Like a nice sort of gentle socialism?
Yeah.
It seems like that would be the answer, doesn't it, Larry?
It does, but there are only 5 million people.
Right, you think it's manageable. So decentralisation seems like, the other sort of communist trope that one would challenge is that mass centralisation doesn't seem to work. We need smaller communities. We need, really, what I think and what your man Chomsky says is the closer ordinary people are to political power, the better it is. So decentralise where possible. Have people politically engaged in their own communities. And I think if the powerful continue to resist ordinary people having any form of power, there will be these bizarre, grotesque anomalies, such as Donald Trump or Brexit, or a return to nationalism, while people reach for identifiable symbols and recognisable narratives, unless there is significant and real change.
You don't want it to turn fascist, though.
Larry, I don't like fascism. Look at my hair. You can't have long-haired fascists. It's a rule.
You're almost Jesus-like.
Exactly. And was Jesus a fascist? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
You can't go to... I mean, there's a good place for a break, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look like Jesus and Jesus wasn't a fascist.
We'll be right back. We're back with Russell Brand. A reporter recently wrote this about your comedy. You quickly realize Brand is humbler than he's given credit for, likes the idea of making a difference despite not always knowing the best way to achieve it.
Well, I don't know the best way to achieve making a difference. Who does? I think it probably is true. I'm returning in my own life to quite simple principles such as kindness and compassion and the acknowledgement that all of us on some level feel lonely and all of us on some level feel fear, that there is dear old Foucault, Michel Foucault, God love him, coming along saying there's no universals. Well, I think there are universals. I think all of us feel fear. I think all of us feel inadequate. And I think all of us have the capacity for love and compassion. And I think that for me, my personal philosophy is about trying where possible to overcome my own personal tyranny, my own personal narcissism.
Our friends saying this is a new Russell.
Some of my friends are saying this is a new Russell, that Russell has changed as a result of becoming a father, that I'm interested in different things. It's not that I've put aside my grandiosity and my grand ambitions. It's that I'm content to see what develops. I'm content to see where things go. I'm interested to see what will happen now. It's not a foregone conclusion what's going on in the world now. I don't think it necessarily has to be a dreadful deterioration, but there evidently will have to be change.
All right, we're going to play a little game of If You Only Knew.
I'd like to do it.
Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
I was always a big fan of Elvis Presley and...
A girl crush.
Why? Why can't I? Well, come on, Larry, it's 2007. All right, Wonder Woman. I liked Wonder Woman a lot.
I did too, yeah.
I used to kiss the screen. She'd be there, and in those days, you'd get a static shock from the screen because technology was not as advanced. Linda Carter, I think she was called.
Yeah, Linda Carter, know her well.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, and her husband, Robert Altman, great man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just saw him the other night.
No, you never.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Guilty?
Used to be chocolate, right?
Well, I don't want to feel guilt. Guilt is pointless. Just pleasure. What do I like to do? Oh, do you know what I do that's really bad? I play on those bloody computer games like PlayStation. I lose myself in a world where I'm a pretend pirate, hurl myself into a pixelated world of meaninglessness. Although some people, like that, what's his name, the real clever clogs, Tesla guy, Elon Musk or whatever he's called, he would say, this reality is a construction anyway, but it says that in the Bhagavad Gita.
Do you have a secret talent?
Yes, I've been trying to show people, but no one's interested.
Who would you trade places with for a day?
Just for one day, Larry.
One day?
I think I'd like to spend the day as Larry King, mostly so that I could go through your wife's underwear drawer with a little more detail, because that 10 minutes I spent rummaging around in there.
What did you find?
There was some beautiful lingerie, but an absence of sex toys, which leads me to believe that you are doing a great job in that marriage. Keep it up, Mr. King.
But she was mad that you did not match the bra and the panties.
She was annoyed about that, but...
Yes, she was.
I was hoping that she might step in herself.
What is something we should all be paying more attention to?
This witness within ourselves, the thing that feels the feelings. Who is it that feels inadequate? Who is it that feels sexually aroused while going through Larry King's wife's drawers?
Luxury you can't live without.
Luxury I can't live without. What do you think? It's probably some sort of hair tonic, is it? Or some sort of meditative... I don't know. Possibly it's some sort of hair
What's
tonic.
the strangest job you've ever had?
I was nearly the man that introduces strippers in a strip club. I auditioned to be that guy. They think I blew it though, Larry. I couldn't hold it down. Even in the audition, there were women there that were going to be working as strippers, and I was like, "Oh my God! Oh Jesus!" They went, "Yeah, not this guy. He's not going to be reliable to do the links."
What do you wish you were better at?
I wish that I could get in and out of a person's bedroom more quickly without being noticed while they're doing a live TV show downstairs, grab their wife's lingerie, bolt out the door without being seen. I've got to work on my cat burglary.
Do you have a favourite vice?
No. No vice, Larry. No more vices.
No more vices.
I've had my turn.
Funniest fan encounter?
Oh, fan encounters.
Yes. What did ever happen to you that was fan that was kind of weird?
Well, of course, Larry, as a younger man, I used to approach my fans on an agricultural basis, as if they could be humans that could be harvested in a carnal fashion.
Oh.
So, I
You
mean,
were a
there were a
player.
good many. So I was a player. So there's not a time to stop being a player-hater. I mean, there was numerous... I don't know if they were amusing, Larry, but they were certainly very enjoyable. Sometimes whole families, they'd treat me like a day out at a theme park.
Tell me something people don't know about you. Come on, Russell, what is it we don't know about you?
That I keep bees.
Bees?
Yeah, 60,000 bees. I keep them. There's 60,000 bees that I keep.
Where?
In my garden. They're in a hive. I don't go in there yet. I've not taken their honey because I'm not sure that it's moral. I've got some chickens. I'm not sure I can take their eggs anymore. I'm not sure that's moral. So I've got all these animals and I'm not taking their stuff off them anymore. So no one knows that about me. And also you may not know that I'm doing a degree in religion and global politics at SOAS University, learning all about the intersection between the political world and the religious world. So I'm privately keeping bees, bothering chickens, and learning about ontology.
You're brilliant and you're still weird. Russell will answer your social media questions with panache and pizzazz. After the break, our final moments with
Who are
Russell
they, your
Brand.
backing dancers?
Panache, pizzazz, get in here, ladies.
We'll be right back. We're back with our remaining moments with Russell Brand. He's amidst a stand-up tour of England and Ireland called Rebirth. He has a weekly news show on YouTube called Truths, and a new book due in September called 12 about his own amazing recovery, much to his great credit. We have many social media questions for you. Megan Beth Kennyworthy, if you could have dinner with any comedian, living or dead, who would you want to have dinner with? Comedian.
Ooh. Oh, all right. Can I have... I'd like very much to talk to Bill Hicks, please. I'd like to have dinner with Bill Hicks. He was a very amazing American comedian. He was a very great genius of your country and your culture. He died, sadly, in about 1992. He was, I suppose he was somewhat like George Carlin, somewhat like Lenny Bruce.
I knew George and Lenny very well. I never heard of Bill Hicks.
Well, given that all these men are dead, I'm not having the dinner with any of them, am I?
Okay.
So, like, I mean, whichever of these once great men that's now sadly dead, I mean, I'd take any one of those three.
Okay.
You knew Lenny Bruce, did you?
Very well.
Did you ever score for him? Did you ever get drugs for him?
Nope. And I know how he got addicted. He got addicted when he was very sick.
Yeah.
And they gave him morphine, and that's how he got addicted.
Probably spending time with you, I imagine. He probably wanted to unwind.
Mount Sinai Hospital in Miami Beach. Great guy.
He was terrific.
Do you ever do one-liner jokes? Ryan Clark asks.
I did know one once.
Like Henny Youngman.
No, not really. I can't. Everything seems to take a long while. I wish I had the brevity. I wish I could be like your great president, Lincoln, who said, like, I didn't have time to write a shorter letter. You know, like, for me, everything is very verbose.
Carl Monroe, any Helen Mirren stories from Author 2?
Oh, my God, yeah. It was amazing with, like, Helen Mirren. I really, like...
Lovely woman.
She's terrific. She used to give her... Like, there was a scene where she had to give me a bath.
Yeah.
And I thought, just forget that this is acting and actually use it for sexual fulfillment. Like, just ignore these people that are hanging around filming it and just tell Helen that there's a particular area that needs a damn good scrub. And Helen, she was a very game woman. She's like... It just makes me think, you know, Larry, that there is people have a sort of a spirit at their core. Because the fact that she was older was irrelevant. There was some spark in her that was very, very
still
attractive.
there.
Gorgeous, that spark was. I wanted to touch it.
That was a funny movie.
Well, that's kind of you to say so. Thanks. I was trying my hardest.
Mike Dancy, do you invest in any interesting projects with your own money?
Off. Who does? With your own money? No.
No, sure.
The
Nobody in
bees.
show business does
No one
that.
does
What are you,
that.
crazy? Captain Africa wants to know, why did you go to university and what do you plan to do? What do you plan to do after you graduate?
If I graduate, because I'm getting in a lot of trouble for not doing the homework. Because the problem is, even though I'm an adult now that I'm in this educational context, whenever they say do that homework, I'm not doing that. Like, because I'm still, my little kid mind...
What are you studying again?
Religion in global politics. So it's like all sort of ontology, political theory. It's deep. Max Weber, I mean, it's heavy stuff. Foucault, they're all in there.
You're not getting good grades?
I'm not getting any grades because I don't give the stuff over. They go, where's that essay? I said, I've not done it. And then, but I do the speeches up the front. That's what I do. You know.
Why are you going to school?
Because I want to understand. I want to understand how power works. I want to understand how these systems work. You've been working this job for ages and ages. You've interviewed probably some of the greatest and most influential political figures, great writers of our time. I want to know what patterns there are. And if there are patterns, how can you usurp them? How can you alter them? And most importantly, how can you convey to people en masse what's actually happening so that they can split the sort of veneer of nonsense that most people live and labour under and tell them the truth, that there is no reason that a small economic elite should prosper while ordinary people suffer.
Maria Larner, do you want to have more children? And what's the best thing in your partner that made you pick her to be the mother of your child?
I do want more children, and she has easy compassion, my girlfriend. She is real and earthed and beautiful and fun. There are loads of qualities, but for me, being with her feels like coming home wherever I am. If I'm with her, I feel like I don't have to try. I hate trying.
Any new movie plans, Maria?
Really, I might make one about, I don't know. I'm talking to some people, but at the moment, not really. I'm not sure what I want to do.
And finally, Simone Mum, what's your biggest regret?
I don't really regret anything, do you? I mean, like in a sort
of... I regret, I wish I had never smoked.
Oh, come on, you've got that lovely voice.
Yeah, but I also got a heart attack.
Yeah, but come on, the heart attack's over now, and we'd be sitting here going, hello, I'm Larry King, welcome to the show. Coming up after the break, I'm going to be talking to Brezhnev. Right, Brezhnev, would you ever have actually done a nuclear bomb? You bloody wouldn't have, would you? Oh, no. Now, if that cubic missile...
It's nice to know you haven't really changed. Thank you, Russell.
Larry King.
Russell Brand. Look for his new book, 12. It's coming this September. And for more information on seeing him live, if you want to see him live, go to his website.
Have a look if you want.
RussellBrand.com.
Do what you want. I'm not bothered.
And as always, you can find me on Twitter.
Don't do that.
At King's Things.
He types things when he's drunk. He's worse than the president.
Bye. See you in a fortnight.
Well done. That's very respectful to my culture. Thank you.